Hello everyone, Death Stimulator here, bringing you some more Naval Action. Today we are playing in the Constitution, finally. I've only put up, one video with the Constitution in it. I've had it for a while, just not too many good games. So, we've got ourselves with a victory, a Trincomalee, a surprise, a Cerberus, a yacht and a brig, going up against a Santisima, 3 Trincomalees, a snow, and a navy brig. Apparently, Victory wants to charge. I cannot say I have any objections to this course of action at all. Trincomalees pretty close to a constitution. I mean, they are just one ship class apart, but they can actually do fairly well for themselves. However, we really need to get in there to do some serious damage to the Santisima. The only way that we're really going to be able to compete with it. I'll just focus on joining with my victory and just sailing along with them. See how we go. Pop ourselves out to full sail, as opposed to battle sail, as we were in before. I didn't want to get too far ahead, but I also wasn't prepared to turn until my team was determined to follow a particular course of action. And now that we have decided that, I'm more than happy to. He wants 135? Sure, no problem. We'll turn to 135. This will give us a good bit of speed, but it will mean that we'll end up much further upwind of the Santisima than I'd really like. I already switched to double without thinking, because I thought we were going to be going in a little bit faster. So I will switch back to ball, as we'll probably get one long-range shot off before that occurs. Switching to battle sail, we don't want to get too far ahead of our allies, and especially not too far away from the victory class, as they'll need some assistance from us in order to defend themselves from those Trincomalees, which will be a bit of a nightmare for them. Looks like we might be in luck. One of the Trincomalees hasn't connected. That is unfortunate. Can we actually get the range on? Wasn't great. Was not great. But yes, we are going to focus on the masts. We're going to focus on, basically, trying to demast it. Ah, good, that Trincomalee is back. I say good. I mean, it's terrible for us, but would rather be facing the full force of the enemy as opposed to only part of it. Just check that this is going at a good enough angle. Seems reasonable. No luck with their masts, sadly. And indeed not too much luck with their sails either. Rather vexing. Just gonna have to wait. Oh boy, we just got pinged by someone. I presume the What is that? There's snow? Okay, so we need to aim up a little bit because we're going to hit their decks otherwise. That looks a bit better. Ah, interesting. The Santisima has decided to turn its guns on my hull, which is not going to be so good. At least not for us. I mean, that was just one volley of ball shot, and I'm already down to about half armour. Just checking our battle sails on. I want a little bit more height. This is not going so well. That wasn't even that full broadside. Pushed myself to survival for a moment, and we'll wait until we have one more volley from them, and then we'll get our repair underway. Just trying to move a little bit off our standard course, and yes, he must have just been at range. Alright, we're going to get a repair underway. Leave our crew on survival for the moment, as we really need... what is it? Really need that water pumped out from our ship. Yeah, so we picked pretty much the perfect time to veer off course, and all his shots fell short. It may have been that was his maximum range, as we were approaching our maximum range ourselves. Full broadside from, what is that, a Trincomalee? No, yeah, it has to be. Ah. Alright, so our victory's gone in. We can now join them. Optimally. Wow, really? Only 97% on the sails after 3 full volleys, most of which were against the sails. Well, thank you for giving the signal. I admit I was caught off guard. I wasn't paying attention, but I was assuming we had drift due to the fact we were moving back and forth. And despite the victory's early turn, it appears that we will be going up alone against the Santisima and a Trincomalee, as they're a little bit far back to really engage decently. It's alright. Not great. Not terrible. Switch up to sails for the moment, so that we can actually get a bit of speed going. Change everything up to double. And we can engage. Get some shots off against the Constitution here. Was a little bit high. That's annoying. However, we should be able to get in behind it, fire off some decent shots on its rear arc, provided that we execute this turn decently, which we did. And now, fire away. We should ideally cut across their bow at just the right time for our reload to have gotten off. Oh wow. They got staggeringly close to their ally there, which is rather good. Switch to battle sail, trying to avoid running into our ally in front of us. Rather a close thing, at least closer than I'd like. Get my crew back on survival. That worked out nicely. Only took a little bit of sail damage, actually. Yes, slight miscommunication. I hadn't realised that my ally in the victory would be going in quite so strongly after they asked us to stern camp the Santisima. I turn around. Oh, he is actually right there. I mean, he's the best ship to be doing it. Yeah, like these are going to do anything. wait until we get past the front of the ship. Where his best armor's gonna be. Oh no, we've had our magazine hit. Blast. Oh, we've actually used all our repairs, so we're gonna sink here. Yeah. So if I hadn't had to swing out, I would have been able to keep stern camping him quite nicely. Unfortunately, because I had to veer out so that the Victory could get shots off, I was pretty much exposed straight up to fire from a much bigger vessel. And that is where we find ourselves now. My pump's broken, so I'll take on water super fast. And magazine's down, so I will reload at an incredibly slow rate. Oh, that was terrible. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to get one more volley off. Yeah, that worked out nicely. Trying desperately to stop so I don't run into our ally here in the Victory. And we're done. Alright, well, we'll stick with this and see how our team go against the Santisima and the rest of them. I have every faith in my team to mop this up. I did go down way faster than I should have, though. Still, it's a team game. This should enable our team to do quite nicely. Currently watching our little brig get a bit stuck. Our yachts riding around being a complete pain. And the rest of our crew is doing fairly well. And we've got a Cerberus, a Surprise, a Trincomalees. We've got one of like most of the higher rank classes of ships. Yacht's a very small class, but it's very powerful. I believe the term I can see floating around is overpowered. And it's very strong. Yeah, I've got some quite interesting videos with it recently, and it does certainly have an impact. Oh, our Cerberus taking a lot of damage there. Fortunately. Okay. So, as it stands, we have unfortunately lost our Trincomalee and our Constitution. Things are going less than well. Three Trincomalees against a victory, basically. It's going to be a rough match. However, Santisima appears to be in a somewhat bad way. It'd be lovely if it were sinking. Looks like our victory may have inadvertently fired off a shot or two against, what is that, our surprise there. Ooh, who's just taking quite the pounding. Oh dear, there's a bit too much, what should we call it here? Just people getting in each other's way, really. For the moment, we'll stick with the victory class. It's doing very well. I wouldn't doubt that a victory class can probably take on a Trincomalee or two after finishing off the Santisima here. However, that remains to be seen. All depends if they can actually fire some shots off against them. Also does depend if the Santisima is actually taking on a lot of water or not. Sometimes it can be a little hard to tell just if a ship's just sitting comfortably or if it is actually taking on water. So many factors depend on it. Ah yes, the legendary stern cannons of the Santisima. They sit below the waterline, so any shots that you fire off once you start taking water immediately just kind of plop straight into the ocean. The trick very much being to not get people on your stern. Whew, that was rather close. Well, that Trincomalee is going to take a fair whack of damage. You would be rather surprised if they were to continue floating after that. Oh wow. Just looking at the bobbing. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, but I think they are done. Unfortunately, the Santisima wasn't able to get around in time. Oh, no. They actually did get a fair number of hits off. Just have a look and see how things are standing at the moment. Oh, it's very much the victory on their own. The Surprise is in fairly bad condition. I imagine the yacht's fine, but the fact you've got 2 more Trincomalees out there, admittedly one of which will probably go down shortly, could prove problematic. The Santisima seems to be... Yep, there they go. Santisima seems to be maintaining themselves quite nicely, so not too much for them to worry about. Imagine their crew count's probably still in the 900s, maybe the 800s. I think it was in the 930s last time I saw it. Just keeping an eye on Colder DK there. They look like they've been able to survive, which is most unfortunate. I think the biggest worry now for the victory is if they lose their sails. The snow has constantly struck out at the sails, and they're down to 75%. Wow, the Santisima is whipping around rather quickly there. Got a nice angle to the wind going. The sails are angled correctly. Everything's coming up roses for them. Coming up daisies, coming up roses, I'm not too sure which. There's some expression to do with flowers blooming nicely, signifying success. Seems like they've gotten repairs underway. The victory, that is. Santi's doing a pretty good job of matching their turns. And our Surprise is going down. Oh, that is unfortunate. I mean, some hits, but vast majority just went straight into the sea. At least on my view. Admittedly, with the lag, I haven't counted it, but I assume that sometimes it may display the incorrect outcome of shots. It's certainly a possibility in any case. Ooh, that sounded rather ominous. Rudder appears alright. Santisima's taken major damage now. And our Victory is about to take a similar amount of damage. Most of the shots did hit the side though, which, if you're going to be shot anywhere, it may as well be the side. Only super significant issue really for the Victory left is those two Trincomalees. That one in there, particularly their Snoopy, seems to be sniping at the rudder. Rather brutal. Some great shots though. Oh, actually, I know it was just the lighting. I thought for a minute that they might have hit it, but it still looks like it's going fine. Victory is starting to get a little bit low now. Something to watch out for. Oops, excuse me. Fortunately, they've actually been able to maintain their sails for the most part. But something like that will probably do them in. Not entirely sure if they actually have one more repair or not. Yes, the Ottomites still win it entirely. Okay, yes, looks like they had one last repair. Hopefully it'll kick in time. Because they are taking on water rather rapidly. Something I'm sure I'll find out once I start playing the larger classes of ships, but it almost feels as if the Victory could have done better if it had taken out the two Trincomalee first. Oh, that was unfortunate. So many missed shots. Okay, looks like all three repairs have been used now. Should be able to get a nice broadside off against the Trincomalee here. They may not have been able to reload in time. I imagine they've probably got their crew on survival mode all the time at the moment. Looks like a combination between the water and possibly rudder damage has really slowed both ships to a crawl. Or it could be that just their angle to the wind. Or it could be the wind. I think the wind might have some drop off at times now. I'm not 100% sure on that. Have to look into it. As I've noticed that sometimes my like all the ships, not just my own, but the other ships that I'm playing with as well, all seem to drop speed from going about 10 knots down to, say, 5 or 6 knots. Completely changing the pace of a battle. sadly, that appears to be it for our victory ally. And, our yacht has also sunk at this time, which is most unfortunate. We were not able to bring down the large Santisima. Yes, good going indeed. The entire team remained to watch the victory go down. Well, thank you very much for watching. This has been Death Stimulator. If you did enjoy the video, do let us know. And please consider liking, commenting, favouring or subscribing, as your support does mean the world to me. I'll see you all next time.